chat customer. Small money. If me can do fuck big money. No. Not work fuck only chat customer. Small money. If me can do fuck big money. No save birdie. Not work fuck only chat customer. Small money. If me can do fuck big money. No save birdie. Not work fuck only chat customer. Small money. If me can do fuck big money. No save birdie. Not work fuck only chat customer. Small money. If me can do fuck big money. No save birdie. Not work fuck only chat customer. Small money. If me can do fuck big money. No save birdie. Not work fuck only chat customer. Small money. If me can do fuck big money. No save birdie. Not work fuck only chat customer.
What's up, schmeckleheads? Cracking open a beer. 10:55. Got an early start tomorrow. Don't ask me why I'm streaming. I think it's all about getting it done. I think that's what it's all about. What's going on in the chat? 12 people here. We got Leo. We got Steve Balboni. We got Leo, man. The whole YouTube streets, man. I don't know what's going on. There's nothing out there. Nothing to watch. No one's doing shit, man. Did you taking a dump with Bigfoot? Yep. Yes. With my monster bunion. Yes, that's my current situation. So what's going on? So we got Ben live right now. Ben's doing his Ben thing. We got Kelly Caldwell doing his Kelly Caldwell thing. No one's we had Drippy. Drippy was doing his Thailand thing. Soy Six. You know, it just wasn't like it used to be. You know, this thing's coming to an end. Just when I was trying to get it done, it's coming to an end, man. Nothing entertaining. You know, you can watch the StreamYard panels, I guess. People pop on, people aren't popping on anymore. I don't know, man. I got to find a new form of entertainment, I think. Not to be a downer, but just not. I don't know. Maybe I'll find a new Netflix show or a new Amazon show to watch. Miss Pick Boss. Exactly. Yeah, I told Pick Boss that. He was on my last stream. I said, listen, or not, 2 streams ago. I said, Pick Boss, he popped on. He'd gone to see Andrew Dice Clay. And let's see, it used to be so funny when you used to troll him. Would get pissed and rage quit. Nah, I don't. Did I do that to Pick Boss? Maybe I did. I don't know. It was inevitable anyway with Pick Boss. When he used to put on marathon streams, man, he used to do it. He used to put in the work. He used to put in the effort. He'd plan it out. He'd have his song list. Took it serious. And then when the songs were done, oh, God, the craziness. But it was funny. I was fucking around with my channel. And I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot about this. I was watching a stream I'd done from Bury Ram, and it just was fucking... It's something that's like, oh, shit. The shit you say, the shit you do. Oh, my God. Something you probably should put in private, but it is what it is. You notice the words you use a lot. I've got a couple words constantly using. Is what it is. What else? I forget. But you cringe. It's cringe-worthy. Oh, fuck. So what's going on in your lives? Are you still? Yeah, I'm still in the States. No, I'm not going anywhere for. Well, my vacation starts in November to mid-December, but I still haven't pulled the trigger on flights. I haven't exactly figured out what I'm doing. You know, is it Southeast Asia? Is it South America? Is it Central America? I don't know. Still haven't figured it out. I got time, plenty of time, but it's just circumstances. You know, I see what's going on over in Pati, and I'm like, I really want to go over there. You know, it's the same shit. A lot of fucking dirtbags over there now. Just too many. You know, I mean, obviously, you see the worst elements on YouTube, but just the Soy 6 crap and the Sway Cow. You still repping out? Yeah, actually, I got a tournament coming up. It's been slow recently. I've been busy with my real job, So I haven't been doing as much stuff beer league at night, but it's kicking back in. I got to get recertified, and I got to start making some of that funny money. That's basically what refing is for me is side cash. You know, I bumped up my 401k. I've starting to save a lot more money with my regular gig. So it's a matter of just now I got to grind. You know, all the refing money. I think $1,000. I got a tournament coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It's close to $1,000. I got beer league, and then once early August rolls around, that's when the youth league starts. So an extra 1,000, 2,000, September, October, November. That's like it's around 6K, maybe a little less. Who knows? But that's the core of what I use for Thailand. What is 111 here in the desert Southwest? Not going to go to work till end of July. Nice, good for you, man. What's up, Mind Blown Watcher? Yeah, you know what? I mean, it's just I'm getting older, and it's like, I mean, I want to see new places. I want to definitely start seeing some new places. I was talking about Vietnam. Referencing reinvest into talent. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the Thai girl that I have known for years have kind of got tired of the situation. Pretty much just, there's no money going that way anymore. So there'll be a little extra. I'm not supporting a Thai family, but we'll see. You never know. But yeah, the ref money is cool. The ref money is the fuck off money. It's the cryptocurrency investing money that you don't really care if you lose, and it's the travel money. But things are getting expensive, man. Everything's expensive. Prices are going through the roof, man. You know. Although it's weird, it's the flight that I was looking at, which is strictly Thailand, is Emirate flight, Emirates round trip flight, and it's actually cheaper than last year, which is bizarre. But it would be basically JFK, New York to Dubai, Dubai to Bangkok, and then return the same way. It's like $1,200. So once you start mixing in other stuff, I'm not talking within Southeast Asia. I'm talking about going from doing like a one way, this and that, and then I'm still Japan is still on the mind. Maybe do a week there, but I don't know. I always bust cheap for all these shops for being indecisive, and I'm just indecisive at this point. And the other option is, you know, bring the old man, go down to Florida, visit his great grandkid, take him down to Key West or visit his friends that are still alive in the villages in Florida, and then send him back. I'll rent like an RV or something. Take it 2 days to get down there. Give him a place to take a piss when he wants. But I got a nephew in D.C., Virginia area. Stop there for a bit, say hello, get some dinner, drive as far as I can down south, and my brother's in where the fuck is he? Georgia. Stop there for a little bit, then go down to Florida. I have an aunt in the Villages, which is the basically the STD capital of the United States. It's all old people banging each other. But it's cool the way it's set up. It's a lot of golf courses, old school, like old town setup, restaurants, pharmacy, barbershop, that type of thing. Um, what's that, Brent? Long trip to get a Lego. Yeah, exactly, Brent. Exactly. But I used to do Costa Rica a lot back in the day. So I was also there. I mean, Belize is on my radar. Costa Rica, obviously, because I've been there a bunch of times. I've been there in years. But I could do whatever. 7 days driving in an RV, go down to Florida with the old man, send him back up, drop off the RV, and then, basically in Miami, and then take a flight from Miami to either Belize or Costa Rica, spend 10 days there, and call it a wrap. That's the other option. So it may turn out to be a flip of the coin when I'm pulling the trigger. I'll probably book everything in September. I'll lock it in. Do you think that Ron said about Lindsay's situation? Dollar signs in the way. Do you think the catalyst he needed to get new tenants? Yeah, no, it's. I mean, we talked about this. It's sad, but you know what? It was inevitable. It was inevitable. Unfortunately, it was on. Everyone could see it happening. We knew it was going to be a lot quicker than most of our expectations on the length of life. You know, even Ron, the way he's living. There may be an RAP Ron stream within the next 5 years. You never know. But just sucks that you had a kid. You know, I said, the kid 4 years old, barely remember. But Danny can start off new. The kid can. We got a guest. Who's this? Hostel. Oh, Jesus. Should I let Hostel on? Let's let Hostel on, see what happens. It may be it's Rebel without a cause. Well, whatever. I'm not even going to say it. Let's add the stage.
It is
Hello.
hostile.
What's going on? What's the
Oh,
story?
I was just glad to catch you being live, and you were mentioning Lindsay that you said was inevitable. What did she have some type of a diagnosis that I wasn't aware of,
Well,
or what?
no, she was a raging alcoholic, and she was
Oh,
on an exorbitant amount of pain pills. So
ooh, ooh,
what
yeah,
happens? Yeah, she was on Oxy. She was on. So she broke her leg. She had fallen off Ron's deck, I guess, or
Jesus.
whatever. And yeah, she was morbidly obese, and
Oh, okay,
just not a good situation overall. But she,
yeah.
yeah, she. I mean, you heard the whole story anyway, didn't you? She
No,
basically.
I didn't get to hear because I was working, but a little bit here and there. But if you'll tell me, that'd be great.
Well, it was Father's Day. Ron's roommate, Danny, came home from work, went in and checked on the kid and Lindsay. They were sleeping, quote unquote, sleeping. And then, I don't know what he was doing, cooking or whatever. And then he went to check on him again. Lindsay snores, and he didn't hear Lindsay snoring. He went in and checked, and yeah, she was dead. But Ron, I mean, obviously she was on meds, but I
Yeah.
guess when the coroner, whoever came in to investigate, basically, yeah, she was on a lot of medication. So with that scenario, I mean, if you're on barbiturates, opiates, and you're drinking, all it takes is an extra drink or
Yeah,
an extra pill,
exactly.
and that's it. You know.
Exactly. Well, and with the obesity, any of that stuff could have triggered something there as well. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, she had to. I mean, Ron always said at some point, she was a very thin, attractive girl, and you know, what happens is you have the youth in your favor, and then
yeah.
you can't continue to abuse your body. And she did that. She had the kid, and then, what put her over the top was basically immobility.
Hmm.
Breaking the leg, and then using it as an excuse to just lay around. You
Yeah.
just can't.
And,
You can't do it. You just
and
that's
when you
that's
start abusing those pills, then it's nowhere but down after that. So,
yeah.
how
I
is
don't run. God.
how's Ron doing? Have you talked to him today? Is he doing all right?
No, no, no. Yeah, he can't. He's got two strikes, so he's not going live. I thought maybe he'd pop on. He's probably working right now, to be honest with you, or with Danny or whatever. But I saw him on someone's stream. He made a comment. I think it was on Drippy's on Toronto Brad's. So he's out and about. But it's I don't know.
Yeah.
Ron, Danny, they've all been around death and dying.
Oh, they have? Okay. So
Well,
they've experienced that before.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
his you live in Baltimore. You kind of experience death and dying. That's where he lives, inner city. Yeah, he's had
Yeah, but I
friends that.
mean in your own home.
Well, yeah. I mean, his father passed away. Ron's father
Okay.
passed away. So it's, but I mean, I said it to Ron, and Ron didn't want to hear it. Oh, he knew it, but I mean, overall, it's,
Yeah.
if you look at the writing on the wall, it's just,
Hmm.
unfortunately, she passed, but it could, lead to a better life for all of them. To be honest with you, there's people
Well,
that in your lives that are a stone in your shoe.
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and and one day you get rid of that stone and everything changes.
Hmm.
You don't want to see anyone pass away like that, especially with a young kid. But there's people that just aren't meant for this world. She was one of them.
I think you also start to think about your own mortality when you deal with something like that in your own home. And maybe Ron will just start to, I don't know, think about his own mortality and how easy it is to not wake up one day when you're young.
I don't know. Your mindset, you get stuck in a certain mindset.
Yeah.
It's Ron's. You got to look at like objectives in life, and
Hmm.
your objective can't be to work your ass off, not have a life, to travel to a faraway world which isn't real for a month out of the year
Yeah.
or 2 months or whatever. You know.
Well, I was a heavy drinker for 5 years and got to the point where, you wake up and your goal is getting that alcohol to your lips. And I often see Ron in that situation, and I wish he would sober up
Well,
and just
it
chill out.
becomes it becomes habitual and it
Yep.
becomes physical too, obviously. But it's like
A ritual. Yeah, it's a ritual too,
yeah, it's something like even for me. I mean, I probably well at one point I was a binge drinker. But for me, it's like high stress at certain points, certain days. Like I've already had a couple beers. That's usually when I scream is when I've had a couple beers. But I don't drink every day. I don't need to feel the need to do it. But there's days where like I had a rough day at work, and I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. There's nothing going on. There's no one to listen to. Like fuck it, I'll go live. I don't. I really don't give a shit about this. And so it's I'll never get it done, unfortunately. But it's
on
just
YouTube.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, my objective is to get it done. What is your obsession with Cal? Leave the poor guy alone. I know he's nuts.
Come on
It's
now.
just
All I'm doing is restreaming him. There's nothing wrong with restreaming him.
I
He
know.
got restreamed all the time by freaking, didn't he? And
I
and
don't. Well,
and Nitro restreamed him.
that guy's a pussy, man.
Oh,
Oh,
how about that the other night? He's giving you compliments, saying what a great job you do, and then you want to get up on stage. He's like, "Sorry, I don't know. You can't come up." I'm like,
well, no. I just
"Okay,
wanted to
come
get
on,
on and troll the living shit out of. Hey, I like
Nitro."
motor. I couldn't even think of his name.
He
I like to
protects him.
drive cars. Well, no, they like to protect their little,
Yep.
the little group of whatever. I
Yeah.
made 100 grand off of YouTube.
Yeah.
Fucking, I just can't stand that guy. Can't stand him. It's all it took was one reason for me to really dislike him, and it was the whole poaching thing. Fucking him
Yeah.
going fishing and on a
Yep.
quote
The
unquote friend's
gym and the
property,
swimming
and just
and
he's
uh,
just and he's like you trolled Kelly, but he's so condescending to Kelly.
yep. Oh yeah, definitely.
It's like he has like a superior attitude towards him. And I pop into Kelly's all the time. It's just fun, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you're a support. I mean, you're a positive support for Kelly. I feel you
Well,
genuinely want
it's
him to be successful.
yeah, of course. I
Mhm.
wish everyone was successful. It would be a better world, but
Yeah,
unfortunately, that's not how things are designed.
yeah,
But also, there's an element of you got to snap out of it because
right.
if you can't get it done in a certain amount of time, just uh, it's just detrimental to everyone.
Okay, so now let me ask you, what do you think about the support he receives from Geoff Nance Cook? Do you feel like Jeff is really looking out for Kelly's best interest, or do you think that Jeff is trolling him?
No, I mean there's people that need attention. There's very wealthy people that are very lonely that need some sort. They're I mean I don't know whatever. Jeff isn't listening to this, Jeff is obviously he's morbidly obese. He's
Right.
extremely unattractive, and he
Right.
probably at some obviously he has some sort of wealth, but like it's like going back to like the black dude, what's his name? You know,
Keith?
Keith Jenkins, man. What a
Yeah.
oh, God bless him. Seems like a very nice guy, but he is not a very bright individual.
Oh,
I
don't
guess
even
like
get me started on Keith.
well, no, I think what happened is he's tired of sitting there looking at monitors and his height. He works all the time. Yeah, he's
No,
he's
he
filming.
doesn't.
Well,
Come
no,
on.
it's no. Well, exactly. I'm being sarcastic, but
Okay.
he he saw or he looked at YouTube as an opportunity to make money. So he associated, whoever got in his ear, you got to donate, you got to get to these big streams. And of course, he picked
Yep.
the wrong streams.
Yep.
He donated whatever, 40, $50,000, to all
Crazy.
these little crazy streams. Yeah, he's got his button or whatever the fuck it is, gold button, pink button,
Yep.
silver button. But
Yep.
it's all fucking Filipinas that were doing sub for sub.
Yep.
Hearing that there was some black simp that was fucking giving out thousands of dollars. So yeah,
Hmm.
he got his button.
So
But
how did the sheep believe that he's working 3 jobs, donating all that money? I don't. I mean, it just doesn't add up, you guys. It doesn't make sense. And if you live in the United States, you ain't gonna get to. You know that no federal building is going to let a federal employee video while they're on the job. You know this, right?
no, of course not. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he would get busted very quickly. I mean, if you're talking about high level, like Pentagon or whatever, I don't even know
Mhm.
where he lives, but and I'm sure he was in the military, and he may even have some sort of pension, but the guy's not worth tons of money, and to basically just throw away 40, 50K on bullshit streams, it's a
Stupid,
pipe dream.
man.
It's a complete, well, yeah, I mean, he's been, you know what? Seems like a very nice guy, and I don't like to talk bad about him, but he's a moron.
Hey, we're just talking about YouTube facts. We're not. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really given my opinion about it yet. I'm just saying, hey, that shit ain't going to happen in a federal building. All right, he's not working 3 jobs and whatever other bullshit that he says.
Well, the
Uh,
federal buildings, you wouldn't be able to, you actually, they have systems that don't allow it.
exactly.
You're not broadcasting from there. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly,
So,
because you and your camera aren't going to get to roam freely in the halls there for fear you might catch something that you shouldn't be catching on
well,
camera.
no, you're just not. I mean, it's any phones that you're using within the Pentagon or any high level White House. My nephew works in the White House. You're not using your private phones where you're actually getting a signal out to YouTube and streaming. It's not happening.
I don't
That
even
they,
think he works for a federal building, to be honest with you. I don't even believe that's true
well,
because
no,
I've
he's not.
seen
He's not.
yeah,
He's a
the
security guard.
cheesy Goodwill uniform that he's went and bought and tried to match up as though it might be a federal uniform of some type. Nah, it's not. It's totally Goodwill.
Hey, you know what?
Second,
We all present ourselves in certain ways, and if he wants to present himself as some sort of, but he's still in the end,
it's
he's a
true.
security guard.
That's
You
true. I
know,
mean, look at Frankie Higby. He pretended like he was married, like he didn't have any kids. You can just be whatever the fuck you want on YouTube, right?
yeah, you just got to keep the story the same. And
There you
that's
go. You got
that's
to
really
remember it.
no, that's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? I
Let
mean,
me
I'm
ask
sure.
you. Let me
That
ask you one more question about the Kelly Caldwell and the Keith Jenkins boosting and all that shit. Why did Kelly get so much grief over it, but Keith didn't? What am I missing in that story? Why was Keith even one of the people calling Kelly out for it when Keith did the exact same thing?
oh, is that I think Capio had played a clip about that whole thing, and all I caught was Keith Jenkins flipping out about Barry, about the whole giving money to the white man, and
Oh,
I never really found out. I don't know what happened between Keith and Kelly and the wife and all that kind of stuff.
uh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, because I just saw something not too long ago about that where it was the three of them, and maybe this is over at Nitro Freaks because he said he was going to start restreaming Kelly and all that stuff to take away my views. Oh no, because he's funnier than me. He's so arrogant. But anyway, back to Kelly and Keith. We all know they did the same thing, right? You know that internet monster. That Kelly and Keith were both buying and boosting their channels, right?
Well, of
You know,
course. I mean, Kelly has what,
yeah.
50,000 subs or whatever. I mean, come on. Come
Oh,
on.
I would say more than that because he's what
Yeah,
is he at 100,000 right now, and he's got to keep buying like
oh,
a thousand.
that's Keith, right? Yeah, Kelly, I
Yeah,
don't know what Kelly has, but it's just,
Kelly's got like 36,000.
you look at any real channel, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Even like the smaller channels, if you have, I think I have 500 subs or close to 500 subs. I have 23 people watching. I consider that pretty good. If you have fucking 100,000 subs and you go on to someone's stream and there's 15 people watching, there's something off.
Yeah, great,
You just
great
can't,
numbers, folks.
the math isn't right. But that's the other thing. I mean, you just like Kelly is. I wish Kelly would change how if he wants to make money. It's I don't. You don't. I don't know. I mean,
I definitely think he
he's.
could do it, but I
I
think
don't. No, he can't. He can't. He doesn't have the personality. He doesn't have the ability. He doesn't have the intelligence. Kelly, if you're listening, God bless. But it's not. You're better off, to be honest with you, in your 50s. Get a job pushing a broom. Get a job wherever. You'll make more money. This is a crutch. This is because if you get a job in McDonald's, you're never going to make more than whatever you will, 35,000, 40,000. This is his excuse where he's working hard now. It's like starting a bullshit company.
hmm
There's people that are morons that have 10 grand. They've never worked in the industry. I'm going to start a cookie company. I can make good cookies.
right.
And they stick with it for 10 years and they go broke. You know,
hmm
you just, but it gives, like when Kelly's at the church with his wife, what is your husband do? Oh, he's a YouTuber. I
No,
mean, what is,
surely
no,
not.
no, that's what people, there's an identity. You have no identity. What's he going to say? I'm unemployed. I'm unemployable. I'm obese. My wife pays for everything. What is, what, at least, with this, which is horrible, but he's using it as a crutch for not,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
not, but a lot of people do that.
Yep.
It's,
If
yeah,
he's
I'm waiting.
listening, I hope he comes up. Kelly, come on, get up here. Let's build
He's
a
not gonna.
bridge.
He doesn't even know I have a channel. He's not coming up.
What? He doesn't? Okay. Do you think he really introduces himself as being employed at YouTube when he meets people at church?
Well, no, that's if someone discusses employment, yeah, that's what he does. He's
He's
a
really
YouTuber and he's a salesman for cookware,
solid
whatever
master.
salad master. Yeah.
Now that's the first I've heard of that because I thought he wasn't a salesman for that.
Well, I mean, that's if the discussion
Obvious.
comes up, because that's very common in the United States. It's hi, how you doing? Oh, what do you do for a living? And
Yeah.
that's the immediately how people judge you. And
Uh-huh.
Golgo, is the best. He tells people he's a garbage man, you right away you can. The best way to read people is to throw something at them, and you can just right away, I mean, oh, you meet someone somewhere. Oh yeah, where do you live? What do you do for work? I live in an apartment in this shitty area, and I'm a garbage man. And that's if they continue talking to you, then you might want to you might want to have a relationship with them if they immediately leave. But that's it's
Hey,
reading people and what's that?
where I live, garbage men make big bucks because it's a shitty
To be
job,
honest with
man.
you, a garbage man is one of the most important jobs
Yeah.
around. Because without
It's
garbage men, you know what would happen? Chaos.
yeah, oh, yeah. It's a
Chaos.
smelly, dirty job.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they're vital. They're more vital than lawyers, to be honest
Yep.
with you.
Yep. And
There's a lot of these jobs, but it's very interesting. Um,
yeah,
the Amazon is basically white collar jobs are going to be cut down within the next 5 years, almost
yeah,
40%. The CEO of what was it, Lowe's, was saying, making recommendations to people that the best
future opportunities for your children probably are trades, because
Hmm.
you're not going to have an AI robot, fixing your HVAC,
Right.
doing, cleaning this, the killing your bugs, doing whatever. It's just everything is changing. So it's the jobs that we always looked up to, the doctor, the lawyer, this and that.
Hmm.
It's probably not going to be like that in 20, 30 years.
Well, tell you what, I think COVID slowed down a lot of us losing our jobs to AI, to
Well,
automated.
they AI, if they pulled the trigger on it now, would just they're slowly implementing it. They can't just all of a sudden just say all back office workers for this particular industry are done. They could do it because the
Hmm.
technology's there. They
Yep.
literally, there's a lot of jobs that they could just end, but
Oh yeah.
they're slowly but surely doing it.
Yeah.
And what it would take is a significant recession, which is, but there's a potential of it, but there's also some logic behind what's going on nationally, internationally, with what's going on with Iran and Israel. And what happens when there's these conflicts? There's a lot of money generated. And what do we do the most? How does the United States make the most money? Off of wars, off of our
That is
technology
true.
and our weaponry. And that's what basically kicks our economy off. So
Mhm.
if the economy goes to shit, nothing better than a good war, you
Yeah.
know?
I
No,
shouldn't laugh
that's
at that. I should not
no,
laugh at that. Yeah.
it's nothing to laugh
You're
at, but
right.
it's the
I know.
truth.
You're right. Yeah.
So you
It is.
kind of, because I mean, I'm 55. You've seen it. You know what I mean? The Bush years.
Yeah.
A
Yes.
nice little
Yes.
conflict keeps things going. So
I know, and I just always think we learn our lessons, and then as you pointed out to me, because I
you know,
really don't pay attention to the news because I got so sick of it years
Mhm.
ago. You're so right about that. That yeah, that makes sense now. Hmm.
Well,
I
we'll see.
forgot.
It's coming though. It's
Yeah.
coming, and I'm happy with the decades that I lived in, the time of where we are. I mean, I really grew up in the 80s and started my career in the 90s. And it's just these kids now. I feel bad for them. I really do.
Well, it's a whole different world. And when you look at you got when your mom was cleaning the house, you got your ass sent outside, and you had no choice but to get out and be one with nature. And but you always had a blast. And unfortunately, I see the kids today are just being handed a device and getting out of the parents' hair while they clean or whatever they need. The kid to be occupied or whatever. And so it is kind of sad that I think that you might survive in a war maybe better than some of the younger ones. And I'm not seeing you fight.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Well,
you're
no,
gonna be fighting. I'm just gonna say you're
but it's
gonna.
just a mentality. I had a conversation recently with someone, and it's they're in HVAC, and they hire these young kids, and there's the mechanics to basically fix their equipment, this and that. They do support. There was a kid that was like 70 miles away, and something happened with one of his tools, and literally the guy said, "I'll just do this, this, and this, and it'll work, and you can finish the job." Kid's like, "Well, I don't have that." He's like, "Well, just get a quarter." And it was like screwing something in. That's basically what it was. There was something wrong with one of his tools that he needed to test the HVAC system or whatever. And the guy's like, "Well, that's not my job. That's your job." And the kid didn't do it. This guy had to drive like an hour and a half just to go up to literally get a screwdriver to fix this kid's tool. And you know
Mhm.
what's funny is that, I mean, if I ran that company, I'd fire that kid tomorrow. I'd fire him right on the spot. And that doesn't exist. They don't do it anymore. Lawsuits and all that
Yeah,
bullshit.
you're right about that, and I think that depends on your state possibly because I am one of. I work in a state that is what do they call it? Fire at will. Is that how they
Mhm.
would say it?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, there's a lot of states that do that, but they have to build a case because they're
Sure.
concerned about litigation.
Yep.
That's really what it comes down to. So you could have someone fuck up beyond belief, but from an HR perspective, they have to build a case because if the individual gets a lawyer, and they're going to look for some sort of compensation.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. For older people like myself, it's they're very careful with us. because it's if they get rid of us, it's because of our ageism. So they're
Mhm.
just there's so many different angles to it.
Yeah.
There really is.
Oh, absolutely. And unfortunately, we're some of the most dedicated workers at our age.
Well, yeah, I mean it's.
I mean, we just know I mean, our parents got up and went to work. We just don't know any better. However, the younger generations know how to sit comfortably on their
You
couch.
can't, there's always, if you're looking at an overall, Generation X, Y, Z, I mean, everyone's, yeah, like my parents said we were lazy, and then their parents said they were lazy. It's just a continual cycle. But I see, like, really see it with the kids from the age of 20 to 30 now. It's
Mhm.
just, it's bad.
Yeah, I agree.
It's their fixation on technology. It's the
Mhm.
I mean, the trying to get a young kid and introduce them to sales is hysterical because
Oh God, yeah.
they just don't have, especially because what they're doing is they're dealing with people most of the time that are between the age of 40 and up, and
Hmm.
like their ability to associate and to have something in they just can't do it. They just
Yeah, but
can't do it.
what's the what's the first thing being a salesperson that you have to be able to do is to
Well,
be
it's
fucking
communicate. It's
polite,
yeah,
and yeah,
communicate and just it's reading people.
yep,
But that's beyond sale. I mean, that's everyday sales of your life. I mean, in order to get a partner, you have to sell yourself. If you want anything, you have to sell yourself. And I'm not saying hardcore sale, but I mean overall, it's just you have to have a product and you have to have a viable product. And
true.
it's just it, the viability of these kids. It's just it's sad. It really is.
It
But
is. I agree. Yep.
I don't know. What's up, Johnny Blaze? What's up, Thailand? Bataya, my sweet Robert. Who's sweet Robert? Skills, what's up, man? Back in the day, I loaded a garage truck for 5 years in my younger years because you never got laid off. Always overtime available. Yep, yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, those times are changing, man. They're changing.
Yep.
I don't know. So what's the game plan? If Kelly's listening, what are you gonna do? You gonna make peace? Gonna keep on? How did the whole thing with Kelly start? Like, did he piss you off? What?
You know, I've always supported Kelly. Come on.
Hmm.
Actually, people kept telling me to watch Kelly, and I did a few months back. I was like, he's a
Hmm.
nothing burger, man. He makes it real clear he just wants your money. He ain't doing nothing else.
Yeah.
And then I started watching him and noticing how, holy shit, he's really blocking a whole bunch of people. He's shit talking his donors, his really loyal donors and stuff that he had a tiff with, or I don't even know why the fuck they left. But I
Hmm.
thought, in my own community, if he doesn't want those viewers, I'll show him how I'll take them. I want them. I want to bring them over
Hmm.
here. And every day I want him to see that he could have 20 more, 12 more, 5 more viewers over there. And as I started to do that, I started realizing Kelly don't give a shit about the numbers. He doesn't. He deletes all of his videos. And then one of the things, if you want your channel to grow, you've got to leave the content open for people to watch it. So why is he deleting it? He obviously doesn't want the numbers of the clicks and the views, right?
Well,
And so I'm
it's all
watching
about
more. The
yeah.
money. Yep.
It's not well. It's but he's not lying about it. At least he's
Right.
honest about it.
Exactly.
Like a guy
Well,
like a
but
guy like Nitro is not honest about it.
oh,
You
I
know.
agree with that 100%. But when Kelly says, I want my channel to grow, and he says it repeatedly, can you help me make my channel grow? Will you help me? I want to, let's go, let's grow. He's implying the numbers on the boards, and that's not what he's doing.
Hmm.
He just wants the number in his wallet to grow. And that's where I start to have an issue. And then he started to doing the thing that where they're like, Hostel can't do that. That's not right. She's going to get in trouble. She can't restream me. That's not right. That's a
Hmm.
bold faced lie to his audience. And then the audience starts to get mad and, oh, that hustle. And then you got like prophecy coming in saying he's going to have me arrested. And
Oh Jesus.
I know. And I know better, but there are the smooth brain ones in the audience that
Yeah,
say,
but you're
oh,
helping them. It's like you're realistically what you're doing is helping them because you're creating some sort of content.
I know, and I don't mind creating content by restreaming him.
Mhm.
It's the lying to the audience. I really
But
don't have
I
a problem.
don't. I personally don't agree with the doxing stuff. I mean, it just
Oh, sure.
letting don't let the people put his address. I don't agree with
Oh,
that at
it's not
all.
the people. It's usually me that's doing it. And you know why I do that, don't you?
Because you're nuts. What are you doing that for?
No, no, no,
Why?
no. Because I was over there, and maybe no. I think I'd been blocked by this point, so I couldn't go over
Mhm.
there. And all of a sudden, I'm getting doxxed, and Aaron P's getting doxxed. And I said, "Oh, he thinks it's funny. He's enjoying it. We'll see how much fun Kelly Caldwell has when Kelly Caldwell's the one getting
Yeah.
doxxed, and
I
he's
want
not
to
having
send
any
him a
fun."
pizza. I want to use that address. Is that a valid
Yes,
address? Okay, good. I'm
yeah.
gonna send him some pizzas.
Would you like me to give it to you in your audience right now? I've got it memorized.
No, don't put that shit in my fucking stream. I don't like the
All
doxing.
right.
I got doxed way back
But
when.
but
Okay.
listen to he's like, "Is that a valid address? I want to send him a pizza." I
No, I
Would
do.
you please do it when he's live?
Yeah, I'll send him pizzas. Definitely.
Awesome.
I'll
Now,
send
do
him
you know
like
what kind would you send him?
I'd send him fucking pepperoni. I'd send him a bunch of different stuff. He likes Papa John's. I'll do an Uber Eats Papa John's. I'll send him like 5 pies.
He likes
That'll
the
be good.
breadsticks.
I'll send him that shit too. I'll send him all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
whatever he likes.
do you think that money's tight for him and the wife?
Listen to that question.
I
Don't
don't.
lead. I do. I
I
do.
don't. Yeah, no.
Now I know DC. I know what she does. I
Mhm.
know that no, there's no money. There's none.
Here's why I don't think here's why I think they have more money than what they're telling you guys. They never go without. Never ever. He today talked to, or yesterday, I don't remember because I was editing some videos of him tonight, but
Hmm.
he talked about spend $200 at the grocery store, and he was eating, kept talking about Trader Joe's. Now, you know about Trader Joe's, right?
No, it's just it's reasonably expensive. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So why is he implying to
because
us that
that's
he can't make
but
ends
that's
meet?
nah, but that's in that area. That's where he lives. At two
There's
hundred
no
dollars,
Walmart.
you know what $200 gets you. Shit.
Oh, he was eating pretty good. Hey, Mark Finch, good to see you.
Man, no, if you think he has money, Hassel, you're way off. You know,
Do you
it's
think that he has some type of regular income himself other than YouTube?
no, I don't.
No.
He spends way too much time on YouTube. I think his wife has a you know probably a barely 45, 50K job a year. They get subsidized, and
Yeah.
then if you do the numbers, she's sending money back to the Philippines.
Oh
No, they're
Lord,
not.
yes, that's right.
So there's not a lot of money. And but there could be a better situation if he just went out and fuck it. Even he doesn't have to do the Uber Eats and that kind of stuff. I kind of agree with him in that scenario. With if you're like Ron's going to the next level, but I mean, he's 50 something. He's done the driving his entire career. There's not a lot of money in it, but I mean, there's plenty of jobs where like shit, he could be a security guard, like Keith Jenkins.
Keith Jenkins, there you go. Yep.
I'm
Um,
serious.
yeah, but look at Ron. Ron does have a personality. I mean, he can talk to just about anybody, don't you think? Sober, and of course, we shouldn't
I
let
don't
him
know
talk to
about
the cops. No.
I don't know about sober.
You think
There's
he's
an
shy?
element of right. Yeah, oh, he's genuinely a shy guy. He just alcohol is his vehicle to a lot of different things.
Hmm.
Ron. I don't know. I've listened to Ron and talked to Ron for the past 5 years. I know a lot about him. And there's a lot of there's a lot of issues, just like all of our lives. There's a lot of issues. But I mean,
Yeah,
Ron is it. Ron sober is a lot different from Ron drunk. But this YouTube thing is basically, a lot of drunk people, at least within the
yeah,
tag community, the travel community. There's a lot of just stupidity. And
yeah.
Ron
And
is
I
done
don't
some
mind the
stupid shit.
drinking. I mean, like when I watch Capio drinking, he can usually keep himself composed. You're not like that, like that, slurring stuff. But speaking of drinkers, did you see that Clive is back with his new account called, what is it called? Something, Let's Go
Like Clive
Clive?
is live or something. Clive is
Yeah.
live. I think, yeah.
Yeah. And the word Clive is a small c, but capital Live, right? live, but he put his C in front of me. And he was over there talking shit about me and saying that he got rid of me a long time ago. And that's a lying fucking lie. That son of a bitch is telling me that's right. That's Clyde. He's probably drinking tonight.
Everyone has a spanner, John S. Everyone is special. We're trying to grow a channel, man. We're trying to get it done. So I feel that everyone deserves the opportunity to have a spanner. Is this a TMZ genre? I don't know. I mean, House takes it to a different level. You know, it's fun. It's
Now
I just
listen,
don't.
where were you in my shit when my shit was getting doxxed week after week by Jeff Nonsco? Where were you? Why
I
was
don't
it just like
remember.
quit doxing her? Damn it!
Well, no, but who cares? I mean, everyone knows where I live. They have an
I
idea of what I
don't.
do for you. But just if you watch my stupid fucking vlogs and stuff, you can see the apartment I live in. Show up.
I didn't even know you had blogs.
If someone not vlog, the lives. I've walked
Oh yeah,
around
yeah.
my apartment complex. Everyone knows I live in New Jersey, and most people know my name. If they want to come and say hi to me, they can. That's up to them.
So you don't have a New Jersey accent.
Yeah, it's a bit. I lived in Boston for many years.
Oh, you
Uh,
definitely don't have a Boston accent. That's for sure.
yeah, I mean
For
it's
starters, you
it's a
pronounce your R's.
it's a northeastern accent.
Okay, there you go.
Reasonably educated. I can play different roles. I can go up to Boston, sound like I'm from Boston,
Let's hear it. Let's hear
and Pop, you can't have it yet. That's that's the
it.
old yeah.
When I was a kid, we had cousins from Boston that come visit us in the Midwest, and us kids would be playing. They say, we want to play cards. Can we play cards?" And we're like, "What,
Cats,
Mom? What are they
cats.
saying? Cards? What's cards?" She's like, "They
Yeah.
want to play Go Fish. Get your cards out. They want to play Go Fish." We're like, "Oh, cards."
Drink
So
some pop. Get some pop. Yeah.
yeah, soda
Boston's a
pop.
great city. It's a lot of
Mhm.
fun.
Great food,
I,
I've heard.
yeah, it was good seafood. Pizza's awful. Um, I lived
Really?
right in the yeah, I lived right in basically right by Faneuil Hall, which is like a tourist area, right by the
Hmm.
financial district.
Hmm.
It was in the north end, the waterfront, and it was just a mixture. It's a very young city. There's a lot of colleges there, and you kind of age out. It's like in New York City, you could be
Oh
a
yeah.
hundred. It's just you start feeling old when you hit your
Hmm.
30s in Boston, just because it's a very young city.
Hmm.
But it's a
I
great city.
lived in Ames, Iowa for 3 years, which is the Iowa State Cyclones, right? And
Mhm.
when college was done, that town was dead, nothing in there. And then when college was back, it was always hopping, especially those football weekends. So I'll say about 5 years after I left that place, I thought I'm going to go back. It's going to be so much fun. And you're older now, like you said, you've aged out, and
Yeah,
it wasn't the same experience. It
yeah.
never
You
was.
can't you can't go. I mean, there's certain like I have godchildren up there and close friends and stuff. But your friendships kind of change when you get older. I'll talk to them once a month. No, but I haven't been up to Boston in a while, actually. I need to get back up there. But
Mm,
it's different. You kind of get set in your ways. You're doing your job. You're doing your own thing. I kind of, to some extent, am like Ron with, you know, work, family, and then I push to get away and travel internationally, at least for 3 weeks out of the year, you know.
What's the longest flight airplane trip you've taken?
Um, Japan, Tokyo, which was what, 14 hours, I think.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I went to from JFK to Tokyo, and then Tokyo to Bangkok. I got screwed my last trip. I missed my flight out of it was from Phuket to Bangkok, Bangkok to Dubai, Dubai to JFK, and I it was partly my fault, but I just left too late, so I missed that. So the last flight that I took out of Thailand was realistically the longest flight because I went from where'd I go? Bangkok. Well, I went Phuket, Bangkok, Bangkok. Where the fuck was it? Italy, Milan, I think it was Milan, and then I had like a fucking 8 hour layover, a 7 hour layover, and then I flew to JFK. So all told, it was over 30 hours. That's not flight time, but that's just basically the time it took me to get back to New York, and that
Yeah.
was brutal. That was brutal.
Did you
So,
see Jermaine S's last comment there? That
no,
that's almost gave me goosebumps there, Jermaine S. That you guys could see that coming.
Jimenez, I did exactly 8 months ago when Ron told us about her accident. She'll be hooked up on pay. Uh,
He said there
yeah,
was cops all over the place, didn't he, when he got
he
home?
probably did say. I mean, Jermaine's a negative motherfucker, so I believe it. But
Is he? I'd never have a problem with him.
yeah, yeah, no, that's the writing was on the wall.
That's
She's been.
scary, yeah. Because you know it's going to happen. You just hope that.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to happen eventually anyway. I didn't,
Mhm.
that she was not going to see Ben graduate from fucking high school. I knew
Yeah.
that. I didn't. I
It's
don't think.
hard to walk away from something like that. I had a friend years ago, and she was a physician's assistant, and she led. I think it was meth. I never found out what it was, but you just saw her start to deteriorate. And I actually had a doctor's appointment the other day where she was the nurse walking in, right? And I was just like, holy smokes! And she was healthy and present. Do you know what I mean by present? Just
Mm-hmm.
looking you in the eye and knowing what's going on right now at the moment and stuff. It was just amazing, and we just rehashed some of the stuff, and it's just it's just awesome to see somebody get out of that and recover and do a better job on their life.
Yeah, well, it's just I don't know. I mean, we all have our Achilles heel. We all have our issues in life. You know what I mean? And people can point them out, but until it really affects you, you're not going to change. And a lot of times it's too late. That's really what
Yeah,
happens.
true. Yep.
Let's
Or
see
they're
this. I have no idea why doctors still handing out those pills like candy. Any responsible medical assistant after a month max. Well, exactly. But Ron had said it. Said it. He couldn't believe the amount of pills. Because I mean, that's what happens. It was a
yeah,
homicide. It immediately was a homicide investigation. So it's like I told Ron. I said, Ron, obviously Ron had nothing to do with it, but I mean, just take all your content down because I mean, they can get it anyway. But there were interactions between Ron and Lindsay that were inappropriate. Let's just say that would raise questions. But it's just you just it's just what everyone always says. It's like your life. Like five closest people around you. It's kind of like how your life is, and it's like Ron,
mm,
has
yeah,
basically derelicts on YouTube. Ron
hmm,
had Lindsay. He had who was an alcoholic. He had Ben who would shit on the floor, the little baby. He had
mm,
he had Danny. And it's like it's just no chance to win. You know.
hmm, yeah. And you're right about hanging out with what you have in your life is pretty much your life. When I was drinking, I didn't want to hang out with somebody that was sober. They weren't
No.
going to be any fun for me. I needed somebody who would drink just as much as me.
Yeah, you know what? For me, I actually two of my best friends from Boston were alcoholics. They were recovering alcoholics. I used to actually go to AA with them every now and then as a goof. And it depends on the people. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Depends on the people, but
Oh yeah, I know.
yeah,
If you're not
I've
having a
never.
good time, you don't hang out with them
Mhm.
for very long, do you?
Yeah, exactly. But they were fun. They were my motorcycle buddies. We used to go on trips all over the United States with the motorcycles and stuff. And they had already done it and seen it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
They
can I
they
ask
used
you a
to.
question about motorcycles?
Mhm.
So let's say you're okay. It's amazing to me to hear Nitro Freak say that in May of 2025 he finally got the height of his Harley Davidson adjusted to his own, to where it won't cause him the backaches and stuff. Tell me about this. Why would a man own a Harley Davidson for all these years and not do that?
Um, Maybe it was that 100K he made off of YouTube that took him to the next level. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. But we know that he took us on a ride and it killed him. He's huffing and puffing and moaning and groaning about his backache. And it was like a 30-minute trip one way and 30-minute back. And he
Well, the
just drove.
bikes, the older bikes were not comfortable. I mean,
Yeah,
I started off with a Sportster, then I had a FLSTS. I've had a Road King. I don't have a bike right now just because basically where I live, it's suicide to have a motorcycle. Ideally, if I do the 6 and 6, which I always talk about, when I retire,
I don't
I'll
know
have
what that
something.
is.
6 and 6, 6 months in the United States, six
Oh,
months
oh,
over,
okay,
and that basically allows me the ability to retire a lot younger.
okay.
Just a financial. It's not just even financial. It's just you can't. People that spend uh, the entire year over in Southeast Asia, it just taints them. You know what I mean? You need to
Hmm.
get back and forth. For medical attention, for family, for just sanity,
Hmm.
depending on how you're living your life over in Southeast Asia. But yeah, it's always good. This is home. We're used to this shit, and people, they have these dreams and these aspirations that a place will change their life and make it so much better for them. But realistically, as I said before, it's the people you're surrounded by. You know,
Oh
it's
yeah.
that's really what it comes down to. You could be happy in East Bumfuck as long as you're surrounded with the right people. You could have more fun in, Podunk, fucking, Kansas, than
Uh-huh.
in the heart of
Podunk,
the city of
Kansas.
Manhattan or Boston or Thailand, anywhere there. It just depends on who you're surrounded by.
Well, and
You know,
there's a Manhattan, Kansas, right?
there's probably a Manhattan every state. It seems like.
Yeah. Uh, I know. What is it? Where Simpsons lives? Springfield. Springfield in every city or state.
Yeah, I like the Midwest. When I worked in my shit when I was like 25, I had a job where I was doing a lot of implementation, going out, training people, getting people set up on software. And I traveled, I've hit 48 states. I've hit pretty much everywhere,
Oh,
everywhere.
so you know computer shit, do you?
Yeah, that's my kind of my industry now. But when I first started out of college, yeah, I did quality assurance. I tested software programs, developed software for the financial industry. So yeah, no,
And I
it's
had a
definitely.
computer question, and for life me, I can't think of it right now. It's like, damn, I gotta talk to some computer geek soon.
Well, no, it's. I'm certainly not your product support person. The
No,
products have changed
oh
and
no, I know
everything's
what it
changed.
is. I know what it is, and you will know this, I think. Do you use a laptop when you live stream?
No, I'm actually on my phone right now.
Oh, okay. But you have you used a laptop when you live stream?
I think once or twice. Yeah,
Okay. I
yeah, not
understand
often.
there's something you can do in the settings there where you'll tell it that, hey, if I'm on StreamYards and maybe I want to go grab a clip or something, that StreamYards should always be like the priority on the window or always not to let one of those other windows take over because that's when you start roboting because you've exited as the host, you've exited to go grab
Mhm.
something and bring it in. What would that be?
Yeah, I've run into scenarios like that, just jumping back and forth because if I'm in StreamYards right now, and
Hmm.
your best bet, just dual, use your phone and then use the laptop, so you'll have
Yeah,
two things run. So run YouTube on one, handheld, and then run the stream on the laptop.
I haven't
Jumping
figured
back,
out how to do it on the phone yet.
I've always run into problems with headphones because I always wear headphones,
Yep.
and if you're jumping back and forth, like and I'm joking around, like everyone's a mod, but if I ever like realistically like wanted to moderate, I wouldn't have
Hmm.
any mods. I'd basically just mod myself. No one's saying anything ridiculous now anyway.
Hmm.
It's kind of you can't really they know the people that are on this they know like pretty much what I stand for and what I no pedo shit and no doxing.
You
You can
know,
say whatever you want about me or whatever, but
exactly. The people that come in my chat are actually very cordial, and the only time I have trouble is when it's the RC boys coming over. That's the only time that there's hateful shit rolling, and I haven't even had that for a while. But in the past when it was always those guys doing the shit.
But I'm not gonna, if Matty Ice and Jermaine S start fighting and yelling at each other, they can do that all day long. I'm not gonna. If someone says Hostile is a crazy, whatever, I don't.
Hmm.
You have the power. You're on the panel. You can
Hmm.
reply to it and do
Right.
whatever you want. People can say whatever they want. It's we have people on the panel are targets. We're
Hmm.
targets, but we have an atomic bomb. They all they have is a BB gun. So it's like I don't. If someone comes on here and gets upset that someone said something about them in the in the chat, and I'd say, you know what, then get the fuck off the panel because you're a pussy. You have the ability to eviscerate them just verbally, which is a lot more
True.
power than calling me a fat albino or whatever. It's like seriously, it's just uh,
Oh,
well,
I'm sorry. Are you an albino? I thought it was making fun.
partially albino, yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm partially obese, partially an albino, yes.
Okay. All right.
But the other thing too is that people like realistically giving a fuck like what
Yeah,
people think of them in this
exactly.
scenario. I don't,
Okay,
I don't,
let's talk about South's message here.
about
And
sex.
yeah, not about my name in it, but Man About Oz. I got to talk about Man About Oz. Lucy Lipstick mentioned Man About Oz one time and what a great show. And that's somebody, just Lucy highly spoke of him. And, if Lucy liked a channel, it was usually because it was very
Hmm.
smart and that sort of stuff. So I found Man About Oz when he came back because I believe he left and somebody shared the link or something. And I
Hmm.
watch him. And sometimes he doesn't hate me. And then sometimes he hates me most of the time.
But
And
that's
I'm
Man
like,
About Oz.
yeah,
That's his stick. I've known, well, I've listened and interacted with Man About Oz for over 5 years.
do you hear
He's
Bronx
a
up
kang he's a kangaroo banger. He lives on a giant farm somewhere in Australia. He's got a harem of kangaroos, and that's his interaction in life. Now he's cool. He's cool, but he no he talks up being a cryptocurrency expert and all this bullshit. But
Oh, he's the freaking of Australia, is he?
yeah, he's Australia,
Uh,
works in the mines or
okay.
manages people in the mines.
Now let me ask you this. That is not the same as Mike Smash, Mike something
That's
else.
Mike Chef. Mike Chef.
There we go. Thank you, Mike Chef. Yes.
He was
It's
the
is it the same guy?
no, no,
Okay.
similar though. So hang on one second. I'm gonna put you on mute. I'll put myself on mute.
Huh. He's gonna put me on mute and put himself on mute.
No, I put myself on mute. No, Mike Chef was a guy that was around way back when in the genre, and he had the voice modulation. He was the tough guy. He was going to come and beat you up.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah,
was the ultimate troll.
yeah. Hmm.
And then all the sycophants like kind of chose sides. It was like it's all tribalism. It shouldn't be, but it's just human nature. People are tribal, so it's like in order to feel secure and safe in this dangerous world of the internet, you need to choose sides. And I've never been like that. I never will be. I'm not even like that in real life. It's just people need a community, and most people that come on here, from my perspective, they're looking for more of a community than anything because they don't have it in real life.
Hmm.
Because a lot of people spend so much time on here, so they're looking to build a quote unquote friends, a community, and it always turns into tribes where it's the Apaches versus the whatever tribe, and it's like the English, with Capio versus whatever, it's and even people that aren't, people that I would consider I'm cordial with, it's always a nationality thing. Like I get along with certain people, but they're always like, you're an American. I don't give a fuck what you are. If I like you, I like you. But
Yeah.
it's innate. It's inside of all of us where it's we want to have this certain community and we feel safe in it. And if people choose sides, but it's just stupid. I'd like to be able to jump. I go where I'm entertained. And I'll jump on. I'll watch your shit. I'll watch Kelly's shit. Do I like you more than Kelly? No, I don't. You guys don't. You know what I
I'm
mean?
not
You're.
competing. I'm not competing with anybody.
No,
I'm
no.
just simply
But
restream.
it's just
I'm making a
I'm not.
point that you can restream.
But the whole thing is I'm not going to choose sides. And
Right.
and and if you
No need to.
basically are, like there's a lot of people like, oh, you go on his channel. We don't want you here. Like, how fucking old are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
My
you might get
anyone.
in trouble for having me on your panel night. Oh, I forgot about it. I
I,
was not trying to get you in trouble with
I don't.
Kelly.
Oh my God. I'm. It's terrible. Terrible. But this is bait. So this lets me read people even more. Where if you're controversial and I let you on my panel, if they are upset about that, then that's even more. Just it's a tell. It's like playing cards. You're a tell. You're a bait. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it allows me to read people even more. I like to analyze people and what they think and what they do, and it's by having you on. I mean, you haven't, I've spoke my mind. I've said certain things that I don't agree with what you do,
Yep.
but you are who you are, and that's fine. I mean, are you hurting anyone? Not really. I realistically think you're helping Kelly by what you're doing because he needs some sort of controversy, some sort of topic to talk about to make people interested in, and
Hmm.
you're that topic. And he hops back and forth. And when he was mentioning that, of course, I went to your channel and made a comment
Yes.
about triggering him, and then I hop back, and it's like testing the waters. It's funny to see because
Well,
he
he's
knows
funny.
he.
He really is
Uh,
funny. He's funny
no,
to me.
well, he keeps me around because he knows potentially maybe someday I'll give him $500. He always talks. You
Oh,
know what I mean? It's
Lord.
like, no, I'll give. I don't have a problem giving people money. It's like Jesse. I mean, like Jesse was one of the best trolls ever. I always liked Jesse. I talked to him offline and stuff. Jesse called me on my birthday because he fucking doxed me. It was hysterical. Like, fucking very, very.
He called you on your birthday to say, "Hey, happy birthday." By the way, I doxed you, or in the process of calling to say happy birthday, he
No, no.
actually.
He put out a link. He always used to put out like funny links, like oh, like someone new would come on the channel, and he'd be like, oh, here's the link to their channel. And he had this program where basically he could find out your phone carrier, your phone, your address, and your phone number. So he it wasn't, I think, was it on what's that app that everyone uses, the not
What's
it's
that?
the no, it's the Telegram, not Telegram, what's it called, where everyone has them, the channel owners, the stupid little fucking program. It's a horrible hackable program.
What am I missing out on here?
No. I forget the name of it. What the fuck is it called? It's not Line. It's
What purpose does it
no.
serve?
Come on, guys, help me out in the chat. What is it that people have? Kelly probably has one. It's their own little chat group outside of YouTube.
Oh,
In
Discord?
Discord, exactly. Discord. Discord is just flawed beyond belief from a technological standpoint. But basically, you can pretty much find out people's information. Anyone that's on that, if you have a little bit of skill, you can hack the shit out of them. But I think Jesse put out like a link, and whatever, and he basically did data mining. He was able to, anyone that clicked on that link, find out your phone number, find out everything pretty much from a technological standpoint about you,
Hmm.
and he could cross reference. I mean, there's information. I mean, someone found out about me, believe it or not. I had it. They doxed me because I had an old account called White Dog 17 or whatever it was, and
Hmm.
I used to have an account. I used to hunt back in the day. I haven't hunted in years, but I was on a hunting website in New Jersey, and the name of that was White Dog 17. And they found that searching probably just Google. Probably could still find it now. And then they were able to trace back. And I made comments, because it was kind of a closed group, specifically in relation to areas of hunting. And then maybe I made a comment about where I lived or whatever the fuck it was. And that's, if there's information about all of us out there that you may not even know about. And if someone really, really, really wants to find out who you are, where you live, where you're employed, who your family is, they can find it. Facebook's the obvious one. Facebook's fucking just ridiculous. But someone in the Philippine community, because I've been to the Philippines and I was involved. This was my trolling years back during COVID time, and I was on YouTube way too much, but I was on both the Thailand genre and the Philippine genre, and I was pissing someone off in that genre, and they're awful. You think the Thailand genre is awful, the fucking Philippine genre, oh my god, horrible. But and they never did anything malicious.
Mm-hmm.
But they knew my name, they knew my phone number, they knew where I worked, they knew everything about me. You know what I mean? So it was just, you know.
So you
But
never lost any jobs because of your
no, no.
YouTube
Well, you're not.
aspirations?
Yeah, no. Well, I've never done anything stupid. I mean, I'm not like pornography or anything. It's like plus, if you if people could company could fire you for anything. If
Yeah,
you're doing a
sure.
good job and you're valuable, they're not going to fire you unless you get caught with a fucking underage kid. That's basically what it comes down to.
Pretty much.
So it's just, if you're an asset, they're not. If they are looking for an excuse to fire you, then they'll fire you. And that's a perfect excuse. The person never went to the extent where they were calling my company or calling my family members, but that happens. You know what I mean?
Well, what about approaching you in real life and throwing a sandwich board at you or something like that?
I
That ever
wish
happen?
them luck. I wish them luck if they did that. I really
Uh-oh.
do.
Why?
Yeah, no.
What would happen?
Well, no, no, whatever. I mean, either I'd die or they'd die. That's pretty much what it comes down to. It's no,
So, so you have dangerous hands like Kelly Caldwell does.
no. As I said, I'm a fat albino, but I just was raised a different way. It's not, if someone's gonna throw a punch, then I'm gonna do what I can do to defend myself. I'm not a tough guy, but certainly not gonna back down from anyone. But I mean, just you deal with crazy people. I mean, the last thing you want to do is deal with someone with a gun or a weapon. But
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going to run away from a confrontation. You know. I mean, the last thing my mindset was always like, if I really, really dislike someone, why would I even want contact with them physically? You know what I mean? Like I mean, there was moments in my life
I
where
don't know.
I was a moron and stuff. I used to, vodka was always my drink that always set me over the top, where I'd say things and do things that would not be good. But I'm way past that. It's just I just I'm confrontational, but I have the ability to know when to deal with things, and when to. You can resolve everything verbally. You could be bitter enemies, and if you have the ability to communicate, everything can be resolved to some extent. Not saying that you're going to end up liking each other, but
Mm.
overall, it's like, why the fuck would you want to, especially at my age, risk the potential of, I've seen people get fucking knocked out, hit their head, and die.
Mm.
You know, way too often. Back in the days of the Jersey Shore, when I lived down at the Jersey Shore, seeing those fights. Back when I lived in Boston, we're fragile. All it takes is one wrong move, and that's it. And is it really worth it over fucking some stupidity? It isn't, you know. So
So in the past, that's how y'all solved your things in real life. You just beat the shit out of each other.
did I say that? Awesome. Are you leading
Or
me?
no, no, you just. I'm not leading you. You're just viewing. You're just witnessing. No, I don't even want to lead you
Well,
that
no, but
direction.
that's not. I mean, I would overall say that's associated to age and lack of intelligence. I mean, everyone. This is all bullshit. It's I'm going to meet you at the
Yeah,
London
I
Bridge.
agree.
Going to meet you at the London Bridge, and I'm going to kick your ass. Come on, there's other way. I would prefer to verbally assault someone and eviscerate them just with a little bit of intelligence than just say we're going to meet up and I'm going to kick your ass. You find people's flaws, you
Mm-hmm.
find the little lies that they tell, and
Mm-hmm.
that's more of a punch to the face than a real punch to the face.
Speaking of punching in the face, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk to you about Nitro Freak again. You
Oh,
do know that he
Jesus.
wants. You do know he wants to punch Marines and Army moms in the face and the fucking mouth because she uses a tablecloth that looks like the United States flag, and he insists that it's a real flag, and he can see the eyelets of it. You know where they put the rope in it to string it up on the.
Mhm. Well, if you look at it, I mean, one of the greatest things, and I don't agree with it, but the ability to burn the flag is a right of ours,
I agree.
and that's
And so, what if it was a real flag, right?
exactly that's I mean, that's the beauty of the United States. To be honest with you, if you
Yeah.
did that in other countries, you get fucking killed. So people can get upset about it. People will get upset, and I certainly get upset watching people burn the American flag, but.
Hmm.
It's our right. It's not. You're not
But
going to end up. You're not going to get thrown in jail for burning the American flag.
what if it really is just a tablecloth? I mean, you could go to Walmart right now and buy one.
Yeah, maybe like for July 4th or something.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, you can't. The military people are a little different. They're a lot of times, and I'm not saying about it. They're indoctrinated. My cousin was recon Marine. He'd gotten in trouble. He's a very smart kid, but got in trouble in high school. And, his college wasn't at that time an option. So he basically went into the Marines. And it was the worst thing that probably could ever happen because you made a person that was mentally unstable to some extent a killer, you know, and you
Yep.
indoctrinate them and you train them it's a different mindset. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I appreciate the gung ho, God bless America, but that goes back to the whole concept of the tribalism. You know what I mean? Like where you're blind to what's going on around you just because it's like Democrat, Republican.
Hmm.
The people that love Donald Trump. I like people that can show. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump, but with Biden, it was a situation where we were looking very weak globally. And you need Trump's a nut, but he shows an element of strength, which people, they kind of think about. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
that's from even like I've had CEOs that I thought were batshit nuts, but they showed leadership abilities and confidence and most of all the ability to communicate. That's really what
Hmm.
it comes down to. And maybe it's the wrong message they're communicating, but they are communicating something. If
Hmm.
you have the worst thing you could have is a leader that doesn't communicate, doesn't have the ability to send out a message, even if it is the wrong message. But I don't know. What's this? Kelly Frogwell. What was it? Chinese spy. Pray for Gaza Sweet Home was sleeping. Come on, Matisse. Matisse is probably Mike Chef. I don't know.
Pray for God's sweet homeless.
Yeah, that was a guy. You ever know Gaza? Did you ever talk to him?
No, but I know that if I'm not mistaken, was it Mike Shep that would go live and do the silent streams for probably a good month long that he was doing that for Gaza?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Gaza was heavily involved in all of this stuff, and he just got sucked in too deep. And I think the final straw was so supposedly one of his quote unquote friends got his channel taken down. But that was his life. I mean, his life was YouTube. His it just everything was YouTube with him. It was
Hmm.
his identity. He had nothing else going on,
That's what I was
and it was
thinking.
it
Yeah.
was where it was where he felt comfortable. It was where he felt power. He thought he was an intellectual and whatever. I mean, in his mind, that's where he was happy
Hmm.
and he felt safe. And then it
Well,
just got
or
to
in control, maybe for the first time.
well, that's it. That's it.
Hmm.
God's a legend. Listen to that.
I always
Um,
encourage content creators to have a backup channel.
Stop the content creator. Listen to that nonsense. Content creator.
Are
You
you
got
not creating content right now?
I'm not. This is nonsense. Come
Are
on,
you
Austin.
sure? Are you
This is
sure?
this is complete bullshit. Mm-mm. This is me and you having a conversation and 31 bored people listening to us.
Are you
It's
going to
basically
hide it or delete it when we're finished?
I'll leave it. I don't give a shit. I don't.
Could the chat troll you into doing that?
No.
No.
No, not at all. I mean, unless something really stupid happened. But I mean, you
Well,
know.
how about this? What if Jake came in, the same Jake that was in Kelly Caldwell's chat, and
Mhm.
asked you to take your shirt off repeatedly and donated, and then said, when you mentioned your partner,
Mhm.
Jake would say, "What? What? I've been hitting on you with my donations. What? I want my donations back." Would you then rage quit and hide it?
Listen to you. God damn you, Hustle. You got to stop this shit. You
This
got
is
to.
what happened at Kelly Caldwell's.
So what? That's great, dude.
I'm
If
just
Kelly,
saying, I'm
listen,
asking what you would do.
listen,
What would you do?
listen. If I had no job and I had no money, and someone said they give me $100 to show my fucking asshole, I'd show it. I don't
Oh
give a
my
fuck.
God.
No, I would.
So, are you saying that Kelly Caldwell wants $100 shows an asshole? Is that what it's going to take?
Listen to you. Hustle. You should be a lawyer. You're leading. The
I'm
judge would.
not.
You're
It's all about
leading.
YouTube content.
I could tell you just lead. You try to like get the conversation to go somewhere. You have an ability to. You should. Law is the way
I have
you should
an
have gone.
agenda.
Well, exactly. Your agenda is to troll. It's to troll.
I'm
That's
not trolling. We're having a conversation,
well, we
remember?
are. But you tried to
So
lead me into
let's
You're
back to
throwing out.
Kelly and this $100. All right, let's get back to
Well,
that.
listen, exactly. That's exactly what you just did. And first of all, I was the one that said $100, but there's been crazy things done for money. I had Kelly do lift his plants up for $25.
Lift them
Yeah,
up
yeah,
in his hands.
yeah. No, he was looking for donations, and I don't know. I had an extra couple dollars. I said, "Fuck it, I'll give him $25." But he had to basically do a workout with the plants in his house. So he was
Oh,
doing, yeah, he had to lift the plant 25 times. So
uh,
he did it.
all right.
You know.
So, do you know that tomorrow the trolls are going to go to Kelly Caldwell's live and say, Kelly, Internet Monster says for $100, you'll show us your chocolate starfish.
Well, hey, whatever. If he does, I'll give him $100. God bless. If he's
No
willing to do
shit.
that, yeah. If he's willing to do that, I'll give him 100. I'll fucking PayPal him the shit. No cut from YouTube. If he wants to show everyone his asshole, he can. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, Lord. I
God
could just see
bless.
Kelly Caldwell.
God bless. God forbid if I ever go monetized. If I ever get monetized and I'm in Asia, guys, I need send me 6,000 whatever $200. I want to go into this massage parlor, pay for it for me. Yeah, I'll be brutal, but it's like I'm going to be straightforward. I'm not going to be. You know what? If you're not entertained and whatever, do whatever the fuck you want. Leave. I don't give a fuck.
Well, look, you don't have to be monetized to get donations. You just need to tell
Yeah,
them what
but I'm
your
not.
PayPal
I'm
is.
not. I'm not putting up PayPal or any bullshit like that.
Come on,
Fuck
it's
that.
$ Internet Monster 1971.
Exactly. Yeah. Send
I
me
make
some
some.
money.
Yeah,
No, it's
pull
close.
some.
It's close. I think I have a Cash App. I have all that shit, but I'm not posting that stuff.
You have that
No.
just to donate then?
What's that?
You have it just for donating purposes, not to receive?
Wow, for other things too. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone should have a Cash App and all that shit. Diversify your finances and diversify where you have money. That's the way to go.
There's some people, believe it or not, in the year 2025 that still like to live under the radar of the government and that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you can't. Yeah, there's
You're right.
no.
Yeah. You
It's
have
not
to drive your
cryptocurrency.
taxes.
Even everyone thought, oh, Bitcoin, oh, bullshit, bullshit. It's not. It's never been that way. It's never been fucking invisible. I have fucking $1 million in Bitcoin. Maybe they didn't track it and they had didn't know who owned it. But let's just put it this way: if you based on your transactions, they're gonna find you. The IRS is gonna find you.
Oh, yeah.
If you have that much money and you're fucking around with it, you're yeah, they're gonna find you.
So, do you think that that would get your PayPal shut down?
What's that?
Oh, I don't know. Tax.
Well, no. I mean, they could. Yeah, I mean, well, the IRS could shut everything down. You know, that's why it's people want a cashless society, but I always think that you should, you're not making interest off of it, but you should always have a bug out bag, a situation, enough money to be able to live for a while with, liquid. Not being, it's not even classified as liquid. It's physical. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You just plain and simple, gold, diamonds, whatever the fuck it is.
During COVID, did you not work? Did you work from home?
I was out of work for a little over a year, actually.
So
Yeah, I was.
there's that nest egg you're talking about to make sure you can survive if something goes wrong.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, financially, I was all right. It
Yeah.
was more of just a different scenario, but yeah, no, it was. I was all right. I was getting by.
Yeah, I
But
was able to continue to work because I was already a home agent, but it was always the fear of, will the company no longer be there because of COVID?
yeah, well, that happened.
A lot of things shut
What's
down. Yeah,
this? What's going on in the chat? We got it. See, that's the other key thing.
they're
As
talking about
Kelly
thin
Comer,
skin.
you have to pay attention to the chat. If you want to become a YouTube superstar, you have to include them. So according to Matty Ice, Souths is flat out broke, which I know is not true.
Is that South 5888 or
Yeah, yeah.
888?
South jumped in front. He was working in Australia, working on the docks, and he jumped in front of a forklift. Yeah.
And
Fuck you.
and who won, him or the forklift?
Both of them. The forklift was retired, and then South was retired.
Okay.
Uh, what else is going on? Getting it done. Yeah, Johnny Blaze. Yep, I'm getting it done. Johnny Blaze is another one. It's like you try to. Back in the day, I knew everyone. You could figure out who was who. Johnny Blaze is one other guy that jumps from stream to stream and is able to
Mingle.
exactly
Yep.
fit in. You
Hmm.
know, and
Yep.
it's a relatively new, I think, ID. You know,
App,
relatively new
you mean a handle name on YouTube?
handle ID handle channel name. Yeah.
I,
Do you know Sick Grandpa? Do you know?
I don't.
Yeah, I met him. He's a good guy. Met him in Bangkok. He's nuts. A lot of fun. And yes, who's this
I Go ahead.
against the spread? Who the fuck
I
is that?
should know who it is. I mean, I believe they have literally told me who they are by their other name, and but for life I can't remember. Nor do I really care. I don't. I don't want to have to memorize everybody's accounts and stuff. So
Viking Prep, what are you talking about? Who gives a shit? Yeah, they've been getting it done for fucking years. They've made millions off the shit. I have vetted him and passes the pub test. What are you talking about? I like South. Me and South was a guy, this guy named Grant, way back when. He passed away, unfortunately, but he was our little pet project. Grant was probably the best stream I ever saw in my life was Grant. Grant was disabled. He had lost his leg. He was a major follower back in the day of the bar streams, the girl streams, like where girls would, dance around. Like, you ever seen Sexy Bar? Everyone talks about that shit.
oh, I feel like I have because they know one of the ladies by her name, and they talk about her a lot, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's
And
one girl that's reasonably attractive, except she has a very large
yeah.
penis.
Oh,
Um, I'm
okay.
joking. I'm joking.
Okay.
Um, no, she's yeah, no, but they were really like during COVID. That's what a lot of people watched. But there was another person that also streamed that had a similar type of situation where he was streaming bar girls and this and that. And his name was
Arissa. Yep. That's it.
Arissa, exactly, Arissa. But he was streaming another bar girls, and Grant was a moderator on there. And Grant was Grant, but he was just an innocent guy, and then he started streaming himself, and it was just some of the stuff that he did was hysterical. Like, like I was streaming, back then, and the Cabo. I'm sure you heard of Cabo. Cabo is like Jeff Northcote or
Mm.
a Tuna. He used to donate a lot of money,
Mm.
and I put a link to Grant's PayPal on my channel to give Grant money. I think Cabo gave him like $100. So fucking so Grant was streaming afterwards and thanking Cabo, but basically using his real name, thanking him. Yeah, he just yeah, he was classic, man. He was classic. He died of cancer, I think it was like 2 years ago. Yeah, yeah.
A lot of that going on, man.
Like
Sad.
he used to go on like Jeff the Pars and stuff, and I used to just troll the living shit out of him. I was an evil person, but I ended up becoming friendly with him. But I had
Oh,
him. I
I've
had him.
seen the avatar picture.
Who's that?
The troll. You're a troll. You're
Yeah, the story behind. I used to be the white dog guy, and that was a few other people. But the name Internet Monster came from Ben Newton. You know Ben, the
yeah.
crazy dude. Yeah.
I too.
Well,
Yeah.
he was in Hoi Hen with a Chinese girl, and he was going through, and the girl was getting used to looking at the chat. She could read a little bit of English, and then he was pointing out me. I think at the time I was still white dog, and he's like, "Yeah, he's a monster. That's an internet monster. He's a bad man." And as soon as I heard internet monster, immediately changed the name of my channel to
Avatar. Yes.
yeah, changed the
That's a
name of it.
great troll. That is a great troll.
So I mean, Ben Newton, and a Chinese girl, probably a fucking a spy, uh, gave me my name.
And was that back when you could change your avatar name as often as you wanted?
Oh
Instead of
yeah, no, but
yeah.
I also back then I had fucking 10 channels, and
Uh-huh.
I was evil. I would go and like the thing that stopped me from being like a really bad troll. This is to be honest. I was trolling like Philippine community, and there was always this one guy that I just was. He's kind of retarded. This guy named Brett Glassow. I don't know if you ever heard his name, but he gives $1 like all the Filipinos. He's always shouting them out and this and that. I got involved with that, but where am I going with the story? But basically, he like said, go follow this girl. Whatever. So she was doing a live stream, and I popped on, and of course I flashed. I flashed like whatever,
Oh
fucking
shit.
porn. And
Uh-huh.
dude, she started crying and praying to Jesus after I did that.
Oh Lord.
Crying. But the thing is that like with these back then, I mean, in the Philippines, it was bad. Like with COVID, I mean, that's like all these channels popped up. All these Filipinos were basically using this. Even if they made $10 off of a channel, it
Mm-hmm.
was better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And all these girls were so paranoid that they'd lose their channel because they would lose their monthly $30-$40. So like I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I mean, I was tanked. I was drinking hard alcohol back then, and I'm like, you know what? This is fucking pure evil. And you can't like I don't have a problem going head to head trolling fucking someone that's kind of a little more intelligent or just like going after Kelly. I mean, come on. It just no. I'm just saying there's battles that are fun. There's
Yeah.
battles you already won. So it's like why go after something like that? You go after if you're gonna fight someone, go after someone. Don't unless you're trying to build up a resume. Just fight someone that's more capable of fighting back. That's the way I look upon it.
Who's fighting Kelly?
Well, I shouldn't say fighting, but I mean, you may not be fighting, but he thinks you're fighting him. You know what I mean?
I think somebody's putting that in his head.
Yeah, well, it might be you.
I think it's either Jeff or most likely Nitro Freak.
But Kelly, if Kelly could step back and look at it, it's helpful to him.
Mm-hmm.
It is content. It's better than him sitting there.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And there's people that can like Capio. Capio is very good at holding an audience. He doesn't need a panel member. He can talk about politics. He can talk about his dog. He can talk. Even Stu's getting good at it. But there's
really
people.
bad.
There's people like even myself. I'm not like I can talk for a while, and I have nothing solid that would keep an audience for over an hour. There's people that can talk about economics, politics, dating. I'm not. That's not me. I mean, it's great to have someone else on the panel to interact with. I've done it before, but like Kelly is just not someone that can realistically hold an audience and entertain people. And the people that can't do that can have an audience by basically showing things,
Yeah.
walking around and showing things. I'm in a new place. I'm not even talking about a new place. I'm talking about just walking around their
Mhm.
neighborhood, talking about, trying to interact. But like, if you want to get it done, you got to change things up. That's really
Now,
ET.
Kelly's
Yeah, this,
content is talking to his audience, right?
yeah, yeah, this
Did-
guy, Hassel. Have you ever seen this guy, this ET guy?
no, I
This
haven't.
this is a guy that he's a troll. Well, he would probably won't appreciate me calling him a troll, but he's a guy that can talk for hours, and he's entertaining. He has the ability, he has the personality. He's Filipino. He lives in Malaysia. Smart guy, but he has the ability to hold an audience, and he's enjoying it. He's not doing it for money. But that's the other thing. It's like if you're going to a channel and you know someone, the main purpose of what they're doing is to make money, then that's not appealing. What happens is those channels that are about that, they attract people with low self esteem that are there to make themselves feel better, and those are the people that Kelly wants because those are the people that will donate because they're looking for recognition amongst a very small
Hmm.
community. So,
Yep.
like a guy like Jeff Northcote, he's the king of the crowd. Like
Right.
he'll get shout outs beyond belief. He feels important there because he gives Kelly $100. Whoop de doo. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But there's other people that like beyond that, like a guy like Tuna Kahuna and Cabo. Like they just don't give a fuck. They're like I think Jeff is not at that level. I think Jeff is doing it more for himself.
Yeah,
Cabo and Tuna are just doing it for fucking whatever. They got enough money. They don't give a fuck. They get enjoyment out of throwing money here and there.
I
You
agree.
know, they have that complete FU money, and it's fun for them. ET, give me money, give me money. Yeah, I don't. Oh God, ET. He's funny. You should troll him. He's the hospital. You'd enjoy him.
I should
It's
troll eat tea.
Well, you wouldn't be able to. But he's fun. He's fun to watch. ET is a different type of guy. Barry needs. Oh, Barry. Let's not even get into Barry. Jesus Christ.
I don't consider myself a troll. It just so happens that, Freakin' and Nitro Freak just won't, they just, the story there. And then along comes Kelly Caldwell and, the doxing, and then he kept talking about me, and I'm like, okay, Kelly, let's dance.
Oh boy. Well, no, but the whole thing with that is that there has to be like you. He won't let. He doesn't do panels.
I
And
know
just.
he won't even get on a panel rarely, will he?
Mhm. Mm-mm.
But he's going to get on Freakins on Friday night to discuss me restreaming him.
I don't know. Whatever.
You won't be allowed up there, sorry, Internet Monster, because you haven't, you know, done lunch
Well,
with
no,
Freakin' yet.
no. I mean, if anyone's listened to this, if Kelly's listened to this conversation, I would imagine. I mean, I'm not. It's not like I prefer you over him or him over you. It just doesn't. It's irrelevant.
I mean,
And
I'm restreaming him. How can you not like what I'm restreaming if you like him, right? I mean, how can you complain about the content? You're like, oh, it's just another angle of Kelly's live stream. Yeah,
oh
a
God.
different kind of lens and stuff. So
Well, what you're what,
it's good.
why do you do? Why are you on YouTube? Like, what do you get out of it?
Oh, okay. So, like, for years I wasn't doing any of this kind of stuff. I was just
Mhm.
laying really low and not even getting on panels and shit. And um, just decided to kind of step outside my own genre because for so many years I had wore the blinders and only wouldn't even consider going other places, and started going other places and hung out with the Nitro Freakin' RC niche for 4 months. And as soon as shit went sideways, they just turned in these real assholes. And I started realizing, no, this is who they were all along. I was just
Mhm.
being a fool.
But what's appealing about that? Like, why would, as a, yeah, I'm not trying, like, as a
Being
female, like, what's
dumb.
appealing to listening to Nitro Freak? Like, what is, like, for me, like, I came on because originally it was, finding out about Thailand and, different places. And it was kind of like a community, it was like
Yeah.
information. But like, what would appeal? You're not into like the race car shit.
No,
So why?
and he really wasn't doing any of that, to be honest with you, back then.
Mhm.
It literally was just him basically every day sitting and drinking. But Club Corner, Club Up Corner. He's got three names and they all start with C, and Cobalt's one of them, Corner and Clubhouse.
Mhm.
Um, he dropped the link, and so that's how I found Nitro Freak. And it was just somewhere to go. It was always somewhere to land because of the time I was free and it was on. And you just sit in there and listen, and the chat was always fun. And you get in there, and of course they always think I'm a dude until they hear my voice, right?
Mhm.
And so I got up there, and he's like, "Oh, you're a woman, huh?" And I'm like, "Yep." Ain't trying to hide it or anything. And then he started, "How'd you find me?" And just really started asking all those questions. I'm like, "Holy shit, dude, relax, man. It ain't no big deal. It's just a YouTube stream."
So you got sucked in. You got sucked into the
Yeah, pretty
community.
much. Yep. And then enjoyed the company of the other folks and all that stuff. And I just that night Lucy Lipstick was up there, and he was being a bigot and lying about her, Lucy. And
Lucy is an intelligent individual.
I
Very
love Lucy.
intelligent.
I
Yeah,
wish Lucy would
Lucy.
come back.
Yeah, Lucy will be back. Lucy will be back at some point. Now
Yeah,
she's
but I
he
still
he
spend time
she
with
is she's she's has the ability to read people like you would not believe. She will find your Achilles. She goes for the jugular. She
Yep.
knows what hurts. And
But she's honest.
sits back, and he's also been through a lot of psychotherapy. It's
Uh-huh.
obvious. And
Uh-huh.
he's also learned a lot of things about it.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, he's had some issues in his life, but yeah, you listen to when he interacts with people, and if he doesn't like you, he will find that weak point and just go for it. But he's hurt. What is it? Hurt
Yeah.
people hurt people, and that's
Yeah.
basically what it is.
Hmm.
Okay, and unfortunately, he's a hurt person,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, but it's
we-
so different. I mean, Lucy was so different that looking back, I was only seeing vanilla, and Lucy
Mhm.
comes along, and it was like, holy shit, kabang! Look at all those beautiful colors that
Yeah.
come with Lucy in the room. Yep.
Lucy's, uh, I mean, I'm not going to die. Well, I'm going to diagnose bipolar beyond belief, highs, lows, um, borderline suicidal on one of his trips, going
I
back
was
to,
watching that one. Yeah,
yeah, well,
that was
but
scary.
that's these guys that, like in his mind, this place that I forget where he was going, Yugoslavia, whatever fucking country it was. This was going to be his make his life so much better. And that's
Yeah.
what happens with a lot of these places,
Mhm.
like Thailand and all these places that these guys travel to. Their life is so miserable, and then they go to these places and they think it's going to be so much better. But I'll go back to the whole thing. It's not where you are. I mean, it's nice to be on a nice beach. It's nice to have good food and not have it cost so much money. But if you're surrounded by fucking dirt bags,
Mhm.
it's like like Pattaya now. That's the big our genre is Pattaya. Like my last trip there, I didn't go. I hit all the islands in Thailand, and it was wonderful. But like the first, I mean, I went to Bangkok, then I went to Pattaya, and I was kind of into Pattaya for a while. But it's like just to be around
Mhm.
just fucking degenerates. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
and more
it's
than you
just
know. You know,
complete.
was the trip you're talking about, Lucy, wanting to talking about on a live, and was that last summer when the Microsoft outage was going on and we all were kind of sitting around? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember it. I know Lucy was over in Poland or
I
somewhere.
think it was Poland, but yeah.
somewhere with his ex-wife was. I don't know. He says
Oh,
he,
is that what it was? Okay.
yeah, who knows? Poland, exactly. Yeah, South Snows. It was
I,
Poland.
I didn't realize that. Maybe that attributed to some of the
Well, no, it was his. It was his. It was going to be his escape. It was going to start new, and then he got there, and it was not what his expectations were, and it. But that happens.
Mhm.
It's I don't know. Who knows where he is? He could be in a mental ward right now for all I know. And that's usually what happens with people that are borderline genius, whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying he was, but he's in his own mind. But he's you know.
Hey, I was blessed that he shared it with me at times, his brilliant mind. So, yeah, I would always welcome Lucy on my panel.
Yeah, he may be listening. You never know.
I
Not
think
here,
so.
but
I hope so.
he's somewhere out there. But
Mhm. Everybody
hustle.
that knows him says he's
We're
he's.
getting we're coming to the finishing line. It's 12:40. I have to get up at 6.
Yeah,
I don't.
me too.
This is what happens to me. I start going, but it was a pleasure talking to you, and
Yeah, I'm glad I caught you.
I hope you enjoy your time on YouTube, and just remember what I say with the
Kelly.
going after the weak.
Oh, you consider him weak?
Yeah.
Hmm, I don't. I consider him very clever. But I know what you say, I'm tomorrow when I watch Kelly, I'm going to be thinking about how you said for $100 he'll show us his brown eye.
I'm sure
Um,
I'm sure you'll mention it, and I will honor that. If he decides to show his brown eye, I will give him $100.
$100. I'm going to pin it on my channel so when he comes over and watches himself on my channel, he'll see it when he goes live. But thank you for having me up. Chat, always good to see y'all and have a good evening, sir.
Sounds good. Thank you, also. Thank you
Thanks.
guys for
Bye.
coming on, and you can all go fuck yourselves. Peace out, motherfuckers. Be good. Stay well. Eat well. Live well. Get off this nonsense. Peace out.